Hi guys, it's Angie with Fun Endeavors Tie-Dye Lab. Today let's make a canvas or jean material shirt jacket. This jacket is kind of a beige color, and I've never seen this brand before. It is Celebrity Pink. I purchased it at Walmart, and it was on a clearance section or, on a rack that had a few clearance items. So I thought I'd give it a try. It's 99% cotton and 1% spandex. The bottom of the shirt jacket is also not hemmed. What they've done is they've run a piece of thread along the bottom so that it doesn't continue to fray, but they've allowed the very bottom portion to be frayed instead of having a hem. So I think that gives it kind of a fun look. Because this jacket is pretty thick, I'm going to go ahead and just do some random sinew lines in the jacket to try to give it a little bit of design. It's a little too stiff to put pleats or any kind of major folds in, so the sinew lines are going to give it some definition and some design. So what I'm doing is I'm just gathering up some areas, and I'm actually grabbing both layers of fabric at the same time. I'm wrapping my sinew around a few times and pulling it as tight as I can, and I'm going to continue pulling until I feel the sinew lock down on itself and I can't pull it any tighter. Then I'm going to move on and do another area. You can add as many or as few sinew lines on your item as you'd like. If you want it busier, then just add a few more lines. Even though this fold in and of itself is not super thick, like a geode or say a mandala, the item itself is pretty thick. So because this fabric is as thick as it is, once I have the jacket tied, I'm going to place it aside and allow it to dry out. On really thick folds, I get better color saturation in the center when I apply dye to the item when it's dry. So I'm going to see if that works for this jacket. It may not make a huge difference, but I may as well give it a try. If you'd like a little bit more information about that topic, I have a blog post out on my website, and I have a link to my website down below this video in the description. For this jacket, I wanted to do some darker colors. I want it to have a darker, richer feel to the jacket. So I'm going to use some burgundy-ish type colors that have great color splits, and I'm going to use some darker purple colors that also have great color splits. For this jacket, I decided I was going to apply the dye over the top of the ice. I wanted to have a little bit softer feel, and I thought that would probably be my best dye application. Because I've chosen darker colors for the jacket, I don't want to allow the jacket to process down in the muck. And what muck is it's the term used to describe the melting ice that's mixed with the dye. That can give your item a darker feel, and I don't want that since I'm already using those dark colors. I also don't want the jacket to process down in the muck because it has metal buttons, and soda ash can corrode metal, so I don't want it to actually sit directly down in the muck for a long time while it's processing. So for my setup, I'm using a plastic tub or tote, and down inside of that tote, I've placed another plastic basket, which has holes in the sides. The bottom of this plastic basket is solid though. I purchased this basket from the Dollar Tree dollar store. I'm going to place my jacket down inside of the plastic basket with holes, and then I also have another metal basket, which I'm going to place underneath this basket to keep the item up off the bottom of this plastic tub or tote. Then I'm going to add a layer of ice on top, and I'm going to add quite a bit of ice because this is really thick, and I want to make sure I have plenty of liquid to force the dye down through this thick fabric. Then I'm going to apply the dye in stripes over the top of the ice, and I'm going to alternate between the darker burgundy red colors and the purple colors. So I'm going to apply the darker burgundy colors first and leave spaces to apply the purples. For the burgundy colors, I'm using Bordeaux from Pro Chemical and Dye, Aged Wine from Dye Spin, and then Black Cherry and Dances with Raisins from Dharma. For the purple colors, I'm using Vintage Purple from Dye Spin, Cosmic Energy from Happy Cat Tie Dye, Plum Wine from Dye Spin, and Black Magic from Happy Cat Tie-Dye. If you missed any of those colors, I have them listed down below in the description for this video, along with links to the website where I purchased them. After I have all the dye on top of the ice, I'm going to apply a little bit of additional dry soda ash to the top, and I'm going to place this container aside and allow the ice to melt. After the ice melted, I had one little area that I had some undissolved dye in, so I went ahead and added just a little bit of ice to that particular area to see if maybe I could get that dye to dissolve and go down through the jacket. After that little bit of ice melted, I allowed the jacket to process for about 24 hours before I rinsed it out. To rinse the jacket, I took it to my utility sink and I began rinsing it in cold water to rinse out the soda ash. I untied the jacket and warmed the water up to hot and continued rinsing in hot water to try to rinse out the excess dye that didn't bond with the fabric. Because this fabric is so stiff and thick, I went ahead and just ran some really hot water in my utility sink, added a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent to the water, placed the jacket inside of that hot water and allowed it to soak. When the water cooled off, I changed it out and I continued that soaking process until my water was remaining almost clear. And it took a while because this fabric really soaked up a whole lot of that dye. Then I placed the jacket down inside of my washing machine and I washed it using a hot water cycle along with a little bit of Dharma's Professional Textile Detergent. After I washed the jacket, I went ahead and dried it and ironed it, and so let's see what it looks like. Okay, so what do you guys think? I think this one looks pretty cool. I honestly, as thick as this fabric was, wasn't sure I was going to get any definition lines. Even though I pulled the sinew as tight as I could, it was pretty tough to get it tight on this fabric. Surprisingly, it worked out really well. I still don't think I could have gotten any other design to work very well just because this fabric is so thick. I also really like the colors. You know, I was going for a darker vibe and I definitely got that. And I got lots of really cool color splits. There's a lot of color variation. I think the darker reds and the purples work really well together. I'm just really happy overall with the entire jacket. I think it looks really cool. I also kind of like the white thread that they used in this jacket. I think it blends well with the white lines in the design. And I didn't have any damage to the metal buttons on this jacket. Remember, I was a little bit concerned that if I allowed the jacket to process down in the muck, that I might get too much soda ash remaining on the metal buttons where they got damaged in some way. But that didn't happen. It worked out really well. So overall, like I said, I really like this jacket. I think it looks really pretty. Love the colors, love the design. I think it's cool. But what do you guys think? Please drop me some comments down below and let me know. And if you've enjoyed the video, I sure would appreciate it if you would like it and if you'd subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'll hit the bell, you'll receive a notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.